senior parents and 2020 graduates, I'm making a little video here that's going to kind of function as our graduation practice. I want you to have the information that you need so that we can have a great graduation with as much tradition as possible in the environment that we're in. So let's talk about parking for a minute. If your last name begins with A through L, you're going to come in and park off of Purdue. So you'll come in and either if it's off of Waldron or off of Flower Bluff Road, you'll come in off Purdue ultimately and come in here and park behind the ECC school and the tennis courts right here. Now, if your last name begins with M through Z, you're going to come in off of Waldron Road, both directions, and come in here and park as if you were going to a basketball game or a volleyball game. The first parking lot we will fill up is right here. The second parking lot we fill up is right here. It's critical that you park in the right parking lot because each parking lot has a designated entry point into the stadium for your particular alpha group. So pay particular close attention to where you park, and also we're highly encouraging that you bring your graduate with you and you park together. If you cannot, that's fine, but you're just going to have to remember you're going to have to enter the stadium together. Now let's talk a little bit about when you get here and arrival. Parents with graduates, last name A through L, are going to come in here at this entryway that you might not have ever noticed before. It's used very rarely, but it's right in behind the concession stand. We're using it so we can separate folks as much as possible, getting you in the stands. So you parents, A through L, are going to come in this way. Right here, you'll pass your student off. Remember that your student is your ticket in to the stadium. But before you do that, you're going to be greeted at the door, and we're required to have you attest to your health. So there'll be a set of questions there, and you'll attest that you don't have any of these symptoms. And if you don't, you'll be sent to the next little stage that will be right in here to sanitize your hands. Then you're going to come down, pass your senior off here. Your senior will be escorted over here and onto the field. You'll be escorted down and onto the track on the visitor side, up into the stands and over, and we'll fill the stands from top to bottom, left, right to left. That helps us ensure that we keep a proper amount of space between each person as we fill up the stands. So that is pretty much it for A through L. Now, if you're M through Z, you're going to come in through a more traditional gate here that you might be used to coming in already at a football game. You're going to come in and you will also attest to your health here, and you'll also be asked to sanitize your hands. You'll then pass off your student to an usher who will get them over here and onto the field and seated at the same time that you're being seated. You'll be ushered across the stands and up, and we're going to fill the stands top to bottom, left to right. So that gets you in the stands and gets your graduate on the floor ready for graduation. So now let's talk about graduation itself. It's taken the entire football field to get 420 graduates or so socially distanced. So we have a plan to set your graduate in a way that gives the appropriate amount of social distance in front and behind them and on both sides. And that includes their walk up. So your students will be ushered row by row at a certain time in the ceremony to come up and receive their diploma right around here. They'll receive their diploma from me, but I won't be handing them their diploma. They'll be picking it up, and there'll be a little sneeze guard there or a plexiglass guard between me and your student, which will allow us to be close enough together to take a good picture, and then they'll come back and they'll be seated. After everyone is seated and we have some more speeches and things to end the ceremony, then it will be time for your graduates to exit the stadium. And here's how they're going to exit the stadium. A through L is going to exit the stadium this way. and they're going to come out and they're going to be escorted down the track and then back around. And this is where they're going to have an opportunity to walk by you in the stands. You're going to see your grad as they walk through, and then they're going to be instructed to leave the stadium and wait for you where you parked. Now, M through Z, your grad is going to get up and exit in this fashion so that they can go here and walk by you, and you'll be able to see your grad as they move out of the stadium and back to the car where they're going to meet you. Once all of the students are out of the stadium, then we'll start exiting guests and parents. Guest A through L will exit in the reverse order that they entered the stands. So last in is first out, and you'll be exited pretty much in the same route that you were, and you'll go out and meet your student in the car. The next set of parents, M through Z, will leave and exit the stands bottom to top, right to left, kind of in reverse order. And you'll be ushered out to the same door that you came in the stands. And the whole plan is to have you out and able to meet your student without us congregating in the stadium. We really need folks to be here at 6 o'clock to start parking. From 6 to 7, we're going to be focused on getting you parked, seated, and get the graduates ready to graduate. So I'm asking you to please be on time. The gates will be open and the parking lots will be open at 6. If you happen to be late for some reason, we're still going to let you in the facility, but it's going to be a little bit harder to get you seated and etc. So try your best not to be late. Also, we have a wheelchair access for those of you who need wheelchair access right here at what we normally call the VIP gate of the home side. So if you're coming in that gate, you will have already received specific instructions from us, and you'll know that you're coming in that gate. So at this point, that would be the end of the ceremony. So just want to make a couple of points to you. We're doing everything we can as a staff to make sure that you're safe and sound and that your graduate is safe and sound. Your graduate will be given a mask when they enter the stadium, but they're not required to wear their mask. They're encouraged to wear their mask, except when they come up to get their diploma. And if they're not comfortable without a mask at that point, they can still wear a mask. You as a guest are also encouraged to wear a mask. And we're just trying to do our best to follow all the rules and all the procedures and have a great ceremony. Another thing to know is many of you have been asking about cords. So all the cords and all of the awards that your students have earned through the years will be placed in a bag and sanitized and placed in a bag and on your student's seat. So all of the things that you're used to them wearing, they'll be able to wear. They're just going to have to put it on when they're at their seat. Parents, I'd like to ask you a special favor. Usually at graduation, I get to tell young men about how to dress and how they ought to look for graduation. And I also am able to give the young ladies some advice about shoes to wear and all that. I'm really counting on you parents to be that person for me and make sure that your graduate comes that day prepared to graduate and also prepared to be able to take a picture with me that'll look good 10 or 20 years from now. When your graduate comes up to the stands, there's going to be an opportunity right there for me and your grad to take a picture, a traditional picture. So unfortunately, you guys are not going to be in a place where you can take a bunch of pictures, but we are going to make sure that we're able to get one great picture. I think it's going to be a great ceremony. We've done a lot of advanced planning to make sure that it's going to be a good, safe event, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys Friday. I think the weather's going to be great. I really do. The forecast is for great weather. There's a slight chance that it could rain. And if it rains, well, we'll go to plan B. Or maybe by now it's already plan C. I'm not sure. But we're going to get you graduated. And I think we're going to get you graduated this Friday. It's going to be a great celebration. I can't wait to see our grads. Give them some love and give them the proper send-off from Flower Bluff. Hope this little video helps you, and we'll talk to you Friday.